Yo, what is up? Sorry, I forgot my coffee. Happy Monday, America. These came out dope, by the way. We're still on the Rudy Matcha Slow Bloom blend. I'm actually finishing it up, and then we're switching over to I believe it's a little Costa Rican blend via Robbie at Stell's. Couldn't find my headphones, so hopefully audio's okay today. Man, hopefully everyone's had an awesome weekend. I got a couple ideas for this coming weekend, maybe Friday or Saturday. I'm trying to dial some stuff in. I was thinking Friday originally, but it looks like I might have a meeting. So stay tuned. More to come on that. We got a couple competition stuff coming up. Obviously, Kim and Sandra, we got games around the corner. So people have been asking me. I'm working on some mock-ups right now of some t-shirts. So stay tuned for that. Some kind of jerseys inspired ones. So that'll be a lot of fun. What else? I think that's kind of it. Kind of full steam ahead. I hope everyone had an awesome 4th of July and awesome holiday and all that good stuff. Had a couple epiphanies this weekend while I was away that I kind of wanted to share with you guys, as well as go over the intuitive eating cycle week 5. I really liked a lot of the stuff today. A lot of stuff that hit home for me, and I took some notes as I was watching the video. And I kind of briefly touched on this the other day, but the idea of distracted eating is something I've been working on. Ash and I even saw this thing. We haven't done it yet, but because it's like in the summer when we eat, it's still really light outside. But it was like they found that this family found that by eating by candlelight, which I know sounds crazy, but that it kind of almost calmed everyone down a little bit. So I think she talked about making it a thing, you're all sitting at the table, you're not just in front of the TV, there's a time and a place for those things. But I found by doing those things, eating outside, having a conversation, that it's really helped. Because I think a lot of times where Kelly talked about the video, really enjoying your food, taking a moment, slowing down. A lot of times with distracted eating, you're just eating it. You're just kind of doing it. It's like you're watching the game, but you're just kind of shoveling food in your face. You're not even really listening to the hunger cues, or are you really enjoying it? She had the story time about the cookie, which was funny. So I made a note about slowing down, distracted eating, really listening to my hunger cues. And one of the hard things for me is a lot of times, because I love food and I love all the foods we have in our house, is that I want to eat all the foods. Meaning that even though and I know you can't really overeat, but sometimes where I think I get messed up is, I'm not worried about overeating broccoli, but what I'm worried about, is tweaking my what is fullness, right? Where am I full? That satiety state gets all out of whack because I'm just shoveling food. So an example would be I made a salad and I'm full. The salad was enough, but then Ashley also just finished up some corn on the cob and I'm like, ooh, that sounds really good. So then I eat that, and then she had just cut some fresh watermelon. I'm like, oh, it's all healthy, but I'm now going beyond. And now I don't know where fullness is because I'm just eating, So it's it's okay to, fit that into tomorrow. I don't have to eat all the foods right now. It's my FOMO, right? It's why I struggle with taking, this is a complete side rail, so stay with me though. It's I struggle taking naps because I feel like I'm going to miss something. It's if I feel if I don't eat it right now, I'm going to miss out on it. But I could have the corn tomorrow. Can have the watermelon tomorrow, right? If I'm hungry, for sure eat it, but also listen to those hunger cues and be you know what, actually I am full. And obviously this goes into play with foods that aren't as healthy, right? It's you're full from dinner, but then, they start talking about chocolate lava cake and you're hold up, but do you really need it, or are you full? So that's something that, I mean, I've been struggling with, but I've been really trying to work on is listening to those hunger cues, asking Kelly a lot of questions. I mean, dude, the amount of text that I send to that woman, she is a saint, because I harangue her at all times a day. I also have no boundaries or understand time because I get up at 3:45. So for me, 6 a.m. is like, I mean, it's noon, right? I'm sending people messages at 5:30 in the morning like a jackass. So hit her up, you know. That was my note about loving food. And then she had brought about like the overhyping, like maybe if you actually take your time to eat these foods, that they're not really as great, right? And I think that's a big one for me, is that when you restrict too much, it becomes this huge thing in your mind. Or if you allow yourself to just eat it from time to time, one, it never grows into this giant gorilla, right? It kind of keeps those at bay, but also makes you realize and remember like, oh, okay. I mean, it's good, but it's not that good. Or like we always talk about, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? So, story time. We're down in La Jolla, and there's a bakery called Wayfarer, which is absurd. And it's all from scratch daily at 2 in the morning. This woman gets there with her team and starts making shit. And then it lasts till it sells out, which is like at noon. Like the line is insane. And that for me is one of those situations where the juice is worth the squeeze, right? What's up, buddy? Mailman. Oh, for the love of God, Colby. The mailbox is right there. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I was looking for.
No, yeah. I thought you were double checking everything. Yeah, so there's 3 of them. You know, that's worth it for me, is something like that. You know, it's like a craftsman, right? You know, it's like buying a nice piece of furniture. Yeah, it's really expensive, but it's worth it because it's built by a craftsman, you know, and that it's not going to destroy me and it's not going to ruin my life, you know. But I found that, like, because of this weekend allowing some of those things, I wasn't as like cravey today as I have been in the past, because I've allowed myself some of these liberties, you know. She had talked about, you know, like the throwing the cookie away thing, and that it's okay, like, oh, I didn't like it doesn't mean you have to finish it, you know. I thought that was fun. And I talked about what, you know, a couple of epiphanies I had was giving myself a break, whether it's nutritionally, fitness wise. So an example of that is like sometimes I have trouble taking a break from work, or I feel like I'm being lazy, when it's actually like you need a break. It's helpful, right? You can't just grind yourself to death, and I'm a grinder. Same thing with fitness. I'll just grind and grind and grind, and then it's okay. Like this weekend was a great example. It was a great time with the family. I still tried to wake up a little early and move a little bit, but there was no gym. Like there's a gym that I could go to, but they weren't open. They didn't open till like 8 a.m. You know, I'm not going to go at 8. You know, so I got up at like 5:30 and stretched a little bit, and you know, I gave myself till about 6:30, 6:45, and that's when Barrett usually gets up. And it was whatever I got in is what I got in. If it was 50 sit-ups, it was 50 sit-ups. If it was a walk or, you know, a run for 30 minutes, it was a run for 30 minutes. But, you know, just tried to move because I knew I would feel better if I moved in the morning. But also that it was okay. My fitness is going to be okay. I'm not my fitness. You know, it's something I've always talked about is previously, you know, people become too much of their hobbies. It's like, I ride bikes, my name's Joe. And it should be, my name's Joe, I like to ride bikes, right? I'm Joe, I love CrossFit, I love coffee. I don't love CrossFit and my name's Joe. You know, not letting it be passionate, be excited, you know, but it's okay to give yourself some breaks, whether it be nutritionally, whether it be working, whether it be whatever, you know. Because what is the point in all this if we're not enjoying it, you know? And then, you know, another epiphany I had is there's going to be things You know, like maybe if I eat something, I might feel a little guilty. Or there are things about me, you know, like physically that I might not like. Like I don't like the way this looks. And the epiphany I had this weekend, man, is just, it is what it is. Like it sounds so obvious and stupid, but there's nothing I can do. You know, like it's like me being upset that I'm 5'8". I'm not upset that I'm 5'8", by the way, but you know, or being like, my quads are too big. I can't change it, you know, and just realizing that I can strive to be better in these areas and like work on it. And like, maybe if I want my arms to be a little bigger, like do some exercise to help build them, but like, it is what it is, you know? So, just want to share some of the kind of those thoughts that I had this weekend. And I hope you guys had an awesome week and an awesome 4th, and stay tuned for some stuff coming up. I'm working on some apparel stuff too, along with the Sandra and Kim shirt. And let's have an awesome week, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon. Cheers.